The workplace isn't just a test of competence, it's a test of character. We often think competition is only about performance, about the numbers. But the real battle, the silent and most dangerous one, takes place in the mind. This is the domain of dark psychology, a realm where manipulators use sophisticated techniques to control, misdirect, and neutralize others. They don't need to shout or threaten. They use words, silence, and even company policies to get what they want. The victim doesn't realize they're under attack. They just feel exhausted, full of self-doubt, and gradually lose their voice. Understanding these techniques isn't about becoming a manipulator. It's about self-defense. 3 of the most common and dangerous techniques are gaslighting, triangulation, and guilt tripping. Today, we will dissect the first and most common perception-destroying technique, gaslighting. Workplace gaslighting is a systematic process designed to erode your reality. The manipulator wants you to doubt your own memory, perception, and judgment. The first signs are often subtle. You're in a meeting. You present an idea. A few days later, when you bring it up, your boss or a key colleague says, "Are you sure you said that? I don't remember that at all." You freeze. You're pretty sure you said it. But their firm denial makes you waver. "Maybe I imagined it." This is an attack on your memory, and you must counterattack immediately with evidence. The solution is documentation. Document everything. Turn ambiguity into indisputable fact. Immediately after every important meeting, send a summary email. "Hi A, just to confirm the points we agreed on today. 1, 2, 3. This creates a paper trail. When the gaslighter says, "I never said that," you can calmly reply, "I have it documented in the email I sent on date. Would you like me to forward it?" This move reclaims reality from them. It forces them to be accountable for their words. Manipulators fear clarity. The next battleground is information. The gaslighter will withhold information to make you fail. You're assigned a project but aren't given all the data. When the project fails, they say, "You should have known." This is basic stuff. They make you feel stupid for not knowing what they intentionally hid. They are masters of creating plausible deniability. They'll send a group email but accidentally forget to CC you on a critical piece of information. When you ask about it, they say, "Oh, I'm sure I CC'd you. It must be in your spam. Did you check carefully?" You check. Nothing. But you start to question your own information management skills. The solution here is to anchor your reality. Do not rely on your memory, which is under attack. Keep a reality journal, a private personal document where you log the facts. March 5th, Boss A agreed to approve Budget X, email confirmation at 10:15 a.m. March 7, A announced deadline Y, sent to X, Z, but not to me. When they try to twist reality next week, you don't have to scramble through your memory. You just look at the facts you recorded. This is your anchor. Gaslighting only works when you doubt yourself. The moment you decide to trust your documentation system more than their words, the manipulator's power begins to crumble. You are not arguing to convince them. You are documenting to protect yourself. Another classic weapon is deflection. The gaslighter will say one thing and do another. In a private meeting, they promise, "Your idea is brilliant. Go for it. I've got your back." But in the group meeting, they are silent, or worse, they criticize the very same idea. When you question them about this contradiction, they won't answer directly. Instead, they attack your emotions. "You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. You're always so negative." These phrases are a pivot. It shifts the focus from their misconduct to your state of mind. They make you believe the problem is you. You're unprofessional. You're unstable. This is when you must set boundaries. Gaslighters thrive on ambiguity and emotional chaos. Don't give it to them. When they attack your emotions, stop the conversation. Maintain a calm, professional tone. Use factual statements, not emotional ones. "I don't feel I'm overreacting. I am pointing out a contradiction in the information." Or, "We seem to remember this differently. Let's review the summary email I sent." Do not debate whether you are sensitive or not. Bring the conversation back to the facts, back to the documented record. They want you to have an emotional outburst so they can label you as unstable. Don't give them that chance. This erosion happens slowly. You start to self-censor. Should I say this? What if I'm remembering it wrong? You lose your creativity, your critical thinking. You become a tool. Therefore, the final and most important solution is to trust your intuition. If you constantly feel that something is wrong, it probably is. That feeling of unease, that constant confusion, that is your warning system screaming. Do not dismiss it. Find a trusted third party, a colleague in another department, a friend in the same industry. Present the facts objectively. Today A said X, but last week A said Y. I'm feeling confused. Often an outsider can see the pattern of manipulation more clearly than you, who are in the eye of the storm. They will help you validate. No, you're not crazy. That is clearly contradictory behavior. This external validation helps solidify your reality and gives you the strength to continue using your defenses. Gaslighting is a war on perception, and you only win when you decide to protect your perception at all costs. In the workplace, one of the most dangerous manipulation techniques isn't a direct attack. It's a social warfare designed to isolate you. It's called triangulation. The manipulator doesn't attack you. Instead, they pull a third person into the conflict between the two of you. The goal is to turn a direct conversation into a theatrical stage, where they are the director and you are the villain. They do this to control the flow of information, to consolidate their power by pitting people against each other, and to make you feel alone and surrounded. Its most common form is the flying monkey. This term, borrowed from the Wizard of Oz, refers to people the manipulator uses to deliver their negative messages, allowing the manipulator to maintain a clean image. Your boss doesn't criticize you directly. Instead, in a one-on-one meeting, he says in a concerned tone, "Hey, I just want you to know, some people on the team feel you're not being very cooperative." You are immediately put on the defensive. Who are these people? What specific thing? Your boss will wave it away. Oh, I can't name names, I'm just looking out for you. You should probably review how you're working. Let's analyze what just happened. You cannot defend yourself because you don't know who is accusing you or what the specific accusation is. The manipulator has planted seeds of doubt about your image within the team. And most importantly, they have positioned themselves as your only ally, the one protecting you from the others. You are isolated without even knowing it. You start to distrust your colleagues. The collaborative environment is destroyed. To counter this attack, the golden rule is, refuse to participate in the triangle. Always demand direct communication. When your boss says, "Some people are complaining," your response must be calm and firm. "Thank you for sharing this. This is important information. To resolve it thoroughly, I think we should have a three-way meeting with that person. Or perhaps you could tell me specifically who it is, so I can speak with them directly and clear things up. I believe in direct communication." 99% of the time, the manipulator will back down. They'll say, "Oh, it's not necessary. It's a small thing." Because their tactic only works in the shadows. When you demand transparency, you break the triangle. They don't want to be exposed as the person spreading gossip. You have reclaimed control of the dialogue. Even if they refuse to name names, they have received the message. You are not easily led. Another scenario is divide and conquer. The manipulator will tell you A and tell a colleague B, something completely contradictory, about the same issue. For example, they say to you, "Ms. B has been working so slowly lately, it's affecting the whole team." Then, they go to Ms. B and say, "You're doing great work, but I'm sensing Mr. A, you, seems unhappy with your progress." What's the result? You and Ms. B start to have underlying tension. You both think the other is being difficult. Meanwhile, the manipulator stands on the sidelines, watching, and playing the role of mediator. What's wrong between you two? Need me to help? They start the fire and then take credit for putting it out. Their power increases because both of you now see them as a crucial intermediary. The solution here is to build direct alliances. Never rely on a single person for information about your colleagues. The manipulator wants to be the central hub of information, the only one you trust. Break that information monopoly. Proactively build good relationships with everyone. Have lunch with Ms. B, support Mr. C when they need it. Create strong peer-to-peer communication channels based on mutual trust. When you have direct, positive relationships with your colleagues, the manipulator cannot get in between to speak ill of them to you or ill of you to them. When they try to say, Ms. B probably doesn't like your idea, you can confidently reply, "Really? I just spoke with Ms. B this morning. She and I are cooperating well." Their triangle collapses before it's even formed. Their third technique is baiting, trying to draw you into bad-mouthing someone else. They come to you and vent, "God, Mr. D is really doing a terrible job." They are casting a line waiting for you to bite. "I know, right? Yesterday, if you do this, you're trapped. You have become part of the triangle, and your words will be used against you or Mr. D later." The manipulator gets information, gains an ally in tearing someone else down, and solidifies their position as the one who knows everything. This is when you use the gray rock method. This technique requires you to become boring, unemotional, and uninteresting to mine for information. When they cast the bait, you don't need to disagree or agree. Disagreeing is also an emotional response they can exploit. Instead, give neutral, dull answers. "Is that so? Oh, I hadn't really noticed. I've been focused on Project X lately." Don't show agreement, but don't argue. Your blandness will frustrate the manipulator. They need emotion. They need drama to maintain their power. A gray rock gives them nothing. They will soon move on to find a more interesting target. Triangulation is a poison that destroys trust. It turns colleagues into enemies and the office into a political minefield. The manipulator uses it because it's effective. It allows them to control without being accountable. By refusing to play their game, by demanding transparency, building direct alliances, and practicing the gray rock method, you are not just protecting yourself. You are protecting the culture of the entire team. You neutralize the manipulator's weapon by turning shadows into light and ambiguity into clear, hard facts. There is a manipulation technique in the workplace that doesn't use commands, but uses your own kindness against you. It's guilt tripping. This technique attacks your moral compass. The manipulator doesn't give orders. They make you feel like a bad person if you don't voluntarily do what they want. This is a form of manipulation based on emotional leverage. A classic scenario unfolds at 5 p.m. Your boss walks by just as you're packing up to leave. He says with a heavy tone, "You're leaving? I know you have plans, but this project is really important to us. I thought you understood its importance." Let's analyze the word us. It's a trap. It equates the company's interests, or his personal interests, with yours. It implies that your leaving is a selfish act, a betrayal of our efforts. You are put in a bind. Either be a good teammate and sacrifice your evening, or be the selfish one and leave with a heavy sense of guilt. The solution here is to be clear-cut. Separate emotions from work. You need to hold your boundaries, not by exploding or getting defensive, but by offering a professional solution. "I understand the urgency of this project. I can stay for another 45 minutes to finish X, Y, and Z, but I must leave at 6 p.m. for a personal commitment I can't move. I will be in early tomorrow at 8 a.m. to handle the rest." This answer does 3 things. 1, it shows you understand the problem. I understand the urgency. 2, it offers a controlled concession. Stay for 45 minutes. 3, it firmly reestablishes your boundary. Must leave at 6 p.m. You are not arguing. You are managing the work. You have neutralized the emotional attack with a logical action plan. A more subtle form is the martyr. You've definitely met this person, the colleague who is always sighing, the one who always takes on work with a look of resigned suffering. "It's fine. You all go ahead. I'll stay and finish it." It's always like this. This statement isn't generosity, it's a performance. It's designed to make everyone else leaving feel guilty, lazy, and indebted to them. They are accumulating a kind of moral credit. They build an image of themselves as the self-sacrificing one, so that later, when they need a favor, or when performance reviews come around, they can use that sacrifice as leverage. "I'm the one who always stays late for everyone." The way to deal with the martyr is to never accept the guilt they are offering. Don't apologize for leaving on time. Don't participate in their emotional drama. Instead, neutralize it with professionalism and a bit of coolness. Thanks for taking care of that. Is there anything specific you need my help with before I go? Or simply, okay, my part for today is done. Have a good evening. Take their words literally. They said they'll do it. You say thank you. You don't acknowledge their sacrifice. You only acknowledge their action. When there's no audience applauding their suffering, the martyr finds their performance becomes meaningless. Next is the personal favor trap. The manipulator will do something small for you. Let you leave an hour early last week, cover for a small mistake you made, buy you a coffee. These are small investments. They are waiting for a big return. A few weeks later, they'll come and ask you for something much bigger. Something that might violate a rule, or something far outside your responsibilities. Remember when I helped you out? Now I need you to help me with this. They are turning a professional relationship into a personal debt ledger. They intentionally blur the lines, so you feel ungrateful if you refuse. You must redraw that line. Thank you for helping me last time. I really appreciate that. But what you're asking involves X, Y, Z, and I'm not comfortable doing that. Separate the two transactions. Their favor was a favor. Their request is a request. The two are unrelated. Or, I'd love to help, but for this, company policy requires us to follow procedure. Put procedure and professionalism between you and their request. You repay a personal favor with friendliness, with another coffee, not by violating your professional integrity. The final and most insidious attack is weaponizing your insecurity. The manipulator links your refusal to your competence, commitment, or loyalty. You request time off and your boss says, "You're taking leave again? I thought you really wanted that promotion." You decline a weekend project. They say, "I'm disappointed. I thought you were more of a team player than that." They don't force you. They make you want to do it, to prove that you are not lazy, unambitious, or disloyal. They attack the very image you've built for yourself. The solution is to separate your worth from their words. Your value is defined by your work product, not by an unreasonable request. Learn to say no without over-explaining. I appreciate the opportunity, but I have to decline. When they push, "I'm disappointed in you," you can calmly reply, "I'm sorry you feel that way. However, my declining this weekend project doesn't reflect my commitment to the company. My commitment is shown in the X, Y, and Z projects I've successfully completed." Answer an emotional attack with data and facts. Anchor your value in your work results, in things that are measurable. Guilt tripping is a war of attrition. It burns your energy, making you work not out of passion but out of fear. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of disappointing others. Breaking this technique requires courage. The courage to set boundaries. The courage to believe that your worth is not measured by the number of times you say yes to others, but by the number of times you say yes to your own sanity and priorities. Identifying a lie is one thing. Identifying a systematic liar is something else entirely. There are individuals who don't just use manipulation tactics. Their very nature is manipulation. These are the true predators of the workplace. Their goal is power, control, and the satisfaction of seeing others weakened. They lack empathy, see colleagues as pawns, and are extremely skilled at hiding their true nature behind a charming and competent facade. These individuals exhibit the psychological traits of the Dark Triad. They are narcissistic, craving admiration. They are Machiavellian, seeing you as a tool. And most dangerously, they may be psychopathic, completely lacking in empathy. When you realize you are dealing with someone like this, conventional solutions are useless. Your goal must change. It's not reconciliation, it's survival. This is the ultimate defense system. Build a file. This isn't casual note-taking. This is the systematic collection of evidence. Buy a new notebook, dedicated only to this. Log every suspicious interaction. Date, time, location. Who said what? Who witnessed it? If they give you a verbal request, follow up with an email. "Hi, just to confirm our conversation from 5 minutes ago, you want me to complete report X." They will hate this because it pulls their behavior into the light, but this is your shield. Save copies of important emails in a secure place. This isn't for confrontation. This is for your protection. Because they will attack. And their most common attack is to weaponize procedure. These master manipulators are often brilliant at playing the victim. They will go to HR before you do. They will complain that you are difficult to work with, that you are the negative one. They use the very system designed to protect employees to attack you. This is the second solution. Absolute emotional detachment. When HR calls you in because of their complaint, they want you to have an emotional outburst. Do not fall into the trap. Do not call them a manipulator or narcissist. You will look unstable. Instead, practice the gray rock method. Be calm, be boring, and be data-driven. I understand the concern. Regarding the incident on date, here is the email confirming his request. You turn an emotional battle into a data audit. The manipulator has nothing to fight against data. Finally, you must confront the cost of staying. Even with your documentation and adherence to facts, your mental health is eroding every day. You have to ask yourself, is winning in this place worth my sanity? And this leads to the final, most powerful solution. Plan your exit. Realize that you cannot change them. You cannot fix a toxic environment from below. You can only save yourself. Leaving is not failure. Leaving is not giving up. It is a strategic decision. It is the act of preserving your career, your health, and your self-respect. But don't leave in a fit of anger. Don't submit your resignation in an explosive email. That is how they win. Instead, do it intelligently. Quietly update your resume. Quietly rebuild your network. Quietly go on interviews. Meanwhile, at the office, you remain the gray rock. You keep doing your job. You give them no reason to attack. And when you have secured a new landing spot, a safe place, you place your resignation on the table. That is the real victory. That is when you take back control of your life from the manipulator. You walk away, not as a victim, but as a survivor, smarter and stronger than ever before. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this type of content, please hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next video.